Greetings, Dr. Loboto. Good to see your face. I see you're wearing your favourite jacket. If I may say so, your claw is looking especially menacing today. Up to the secret laboratory then, is it?
Psychonauts is a long-awaited and long-in-development platformer from Double Fine Productions, the studio headed by the man behind some of the greatest PC adventure games of all time, like Grim Fandango and Day of the Tentacle. This is not a PC adventure game, it's a platformer. Schafer and his team have done a remarkable job, creating a game that not only has the sorts of entertaining and sympathetic characters that the man is known for, but also some legitimately great gameplay that mixes traditional platforming with some really, really crazy stuff. So much of what makes Psychonauts fun is just how bizarre the whole thing is. You play as Rasputin, or Raz for short, a plucky young psychic who runs away from the circus and hopefully join this summer camp that acts as like a training ground for the Psychonauts, a clandestine group of psychic secret agents. It doesn't take long for crazy crap to start happening, of course. People's brains start getting stolen, for one thing, and then the counselors of the camp suddenly disappear. The whole tone of the game, though, is just delightfully weird. All the characters have this sort of like Tim Burton meets Pixar look that's just completely awesome. And the characters in dialogue are just divine. Oh, and the game also happens to play pretty well. It's pretty much impossible to just sort of like quickly sum up the whole of the game's experience because, well, no two sections of the game ever quite feel the same. Since you're a psychic, you'll spend a great deal of time sort of running around in people's minds. Each character's mind is aesthetically totally unique, and it also delivers a completely different play experience each and every time. Sure, you know, you'll be running around, kind of jumping and double jumping and swinging from poles and such, but that's just the basics of how it all plays. In one level, for instance, you kind of have to go into this crazy board game with a mental projection of Napoleon that is plaguing the mind of a local mental patient. In another, you'll find yourself sort of stomping through this mini-city that exists in the head of a genetically mutated lungfish, sort of getting your Godzilla on and causing all sorts of mayhem in there. Plus, on top of all the platforming, you got these like wacky mental powers that you can use, like telekinesis, pyrokinesis, and levitation that just sort of keep the action fresh pretty much the whole way through. The game isn't super hard, nor is it really that long. It's probably about 12 hours if you don't stop to smell the roses or do anything and see all the extras. But even though, there's really no dull moment in the game, ever. The most distinctive thing about Psychonauts, though, is just how much care obviously went into every aspect of the game's execution. For example, while you'll get the bulk of the story just sort of by running around, beating all the different levels, just kind of going straight through, if you just wander around the main summer camp areas, you'll find all sorts of kooky Easter eggs. There's just like big bits of dialogue from all the different characters, hidden items in areas, little bits of plot you might not have otherwise gotten. This is a game where it really pays to sort of explore every nook and cranny, as you'll find all sorts of goodies that way. The Xbox version of Psychonauts is clearly the superior version, simply because it's more technically proficient. This game feels like a console game from the get-go, and the PC version is perfectly functional, especially if you have a good USB controller, but it feels pretty off if you try to play with a keyboard and mouse setup. As far as both platforms go, neither the PC or the Xbox have a wide variety of great platformers at their disposal at this point in time. Perhaps there's a reason for that with the PC since, you know, it's not always super easy to play those games on the PC, but on the Xbox, this is most definitely the best available platformer. Psychonauts is exactly the kind of charming, funny, lovable platformer that Xbox fans have been waiting for ever since the system's launch. And perhaps PC fans too, to a slightly lesser degree. The game is just great fun all around. You won't care that the game isn't knocking you around with its difficulty because you'll be way too busy chatting up with all the great characters and using your psychic abilities to set things on fire and exploring the ins and outs of people's minds, all of which are just totally insane and fun to explore. And you're just gonna enjoy every minute of it.